Hey everyone, I just finished reading the April 2026 issue of PHP Architect magazine, and there is a fantastic interview with Elizabeth Barron, the newly appointed executive director of the PHP Foundation. If you care about the future of PHP, you need to hear this. Elizabeth did not come from a computer science program. Welcome to our channel. She fell into PHP back in what she jokingly calls the 1900s, the late 90s, and early 2000s. She worked at a small company with no budget, needed to make a static site dynamic, and turned to PHP and MySQL. That accidental start is the DNA of the PHP community. She found her people in IRC channels and early forums, and that sense of belonging is what she calls PHP's secret sauce. It is not just a language, it is a culture of pragmatism and peer-to-peer support. Before joining the foundation, Elizabeth spent years managing open-source communities at SourceForge and GitHub. She saw thousands of projects succeed or fail based on the health of their contributor base. Then she spent 6 years as the community manager for CHAOSS, a Linux Foundation project that measures the health of open-source communities. She learned that real health is not about stars or downloads. It is about metrics like bus factor and contributor retention. She plans to bring that data-driven rigor to the PHP Foundation. The foundation was created to ensure PHP's long-term sustainability. But Elizabeth wants to move from reactive maintenance to proactive evolution. Her vision has 3 pillars: core sustainability, ecosystem advocacy, and reclaiming the PHP story. She wants to fight the PHP is dead narrative by highlighting modern features like JIT, fibers, and enums. We also talked about AI. A contributor recently used an LLM to vibe code a pull request for generics, one of the most requested features in PHP history. The code looked plausible, but it lacked deep architectural understanding. Elizabeth says the foundation needs a defined policy. There are also legal questions about whether an AI-generated PR can even be merged. And there is a human cost. If companies replace junior developers with cheap AI subscriptions, we destroy the talent pipeline. You cannot have senior developers in 10 years if you do not hire juniors today. Elizabeth also wants to bridge the documentation gap. The PHP manual is a great reference, but for beginners, it is like learning a language from a dictionary. She wants the foundation to support content creators who teach fundamentals using PHP. She is excited about growth in Africa, where developers do not carry the PHP is dead baggage. They see PHP as fast, reliable, and easy to deploy on low-resource hardware. Supporting those emerging communities is not just altruism. It is survival for the language's ecosystem. Local user groups were hit hard by the pandemic. Many developers became hermits. Elizabeth wants the foundation to provide a meetup-in-a-box startup kit, help with venues, sponsorships, and finding speakers. Lower the barrier to bringing people back together. On the technical side, she highlighted native PHP, which lets you build native desktop apps with Laravel or Symfony. PHP is breaking out of its web-only cage, showing up on IoT and mobile via tools like Swol and Franken PHP. Finally, Elizabeth is a strong advocate for diversity. She co-founded a nonprofit supporting women and non-binary people in PHP. For her, diversity is not a checkbox. It is a technical requirement. If everyone at the table has the same background, you get a monoculture of ideas. She wants to build a pathway to core development that is accessible to underrepresented groups. Elizabeth's message to the community is simple: engage. Share your pain points, contribute to documentation, and advocate locally. The PHP Foundation is not an ivory tower. It is a community-funded effort, and she is inviting everyone in. You can find her in the PHP Architect Discord or book time on her calendar. This interview is genuinely inspiring. PHP is not just a legacy language we are forced to maintain. It is a vibrant, evolving ecosystem led by people who genuinely care. And with Elizabeth Barron at the helm, the future